Hi and welcome back to my channel. This week I'm going to show you how I created this Harley Quinn inspired costume. This is based off the classic Harley Quinn with the black and red costume, not the new one. First thing I did was create my pattern off my mannequin. I used plastic wrap and masking tape and then drew on my pattern. I purchased this 4-way stretch black and red sportswear fabric. This costume will consist of it being in 2 pieces instead of 1 bodysuit for ease of bathroom use. And I used my reference image to make sure the red is on the correct side and the black is on the other side. While creating this, I did make sure I write either a left and a right and a front and a back on my pieces to make sure that I am sewing on the correct side. And I would say the trickiest part of this costume is where the 4 colors meet right underneath the bust line, to making sure that is all lined up properly. Once I got the top of the bodice all cut out, I go ahead and cut out the bottom of the bodice with the respective colors. And with each piece cut out, I go ahead and attach the top of the bodice to the bottom of the bodice and sew those together. With those pieces sewn, I go ahead and attach them to each other down the center seams for the front and the back, making sure that that middle line matches up. And I do serge all my edges and seams. And here's where I made my first mistake. I did not leave an opening so I can install a zipper so that my daughter could get in this outfit. So I did come back in and unpick the top of the bodice all the way down to the line underneath the bust so I can install a zipper later on. With the front and the back sewn up, I do go ahead and sew up the shoulder seams. And then I sew up the side seams. For the sleeves, I just make a basic sleeve where both sides are symmetrical, and then I cut it out, one in red, one in black. Harley Quinn has diamonds on her outfits On the red side, it will be black diamonds. On the black side, it will be red diamonds. And I use this Wonder Under product to create those diamonds and iron them onto my outfit. However, I do not recommend Wonder Under on this sportswear fabric because it does not hold. And I just followed the instructions that it says. And to attach the diamonds, I just go ahead and figure out where they need to be on by my reference image, and then I peel the paper backing off, and then I iron them to the sleeve, the legs, and the butt. And I do all this before I sew it all together. And once the diamonds are attached, I go ahead and sew up the sleeve seam. And then I go ahead and attach them to my armholes. For the bottom of the shirt, I do go ahead and roll up the hem and just sew it down with the corresponding threads. And here I'm just fixing my mistake of sewing up the front of the shirt completely closed. I unpicked it all, and then I am re-sewing the front for bottom half of it. And I'm installing a 7-inch zipper to the top of the shirt. For the collar, I take an old t-shirt I had and I created this shape, and I cut 4 pieces from it with 2 pieces of interfacing. I go ahead and iron on the interfacing to 2 pieces of this. And then I attach these 2 pieces together, creating a seam down the middle back. And once I have turned the 4 pieces into 2 pieces, I go ahead and do right sides to right sides and I sew it all up. I leave the collar neck part open so I can flip it. And I do clip off majority of the excess seam allowance, and I clip all my curves and corners so it folds out nicely. Once it's flipped, I go ahead and iron it again. And then I go ahead and attach it to my collar of the shirt. The front part of the collar does overlap because it does have a zipper, and I wanted to make sure it looked like it went all the way around. For the hood, I created this like upside down lowercase n shape, and then I cut it in half, and I made one of these in red and one of these in black. And for the points on top of the hood, I just made a triangle shape, and I cut 2 of these in red and 2 of these in black. Later on I do change this and I actually extend them quite a bit, so this is my first take of it. This cowl will be a very loose fit because after we go on vacation and go to Six Flags, I wanted to make sure she was able to wear this as jammies if she chooses. For the points, I go ahead and sew each red one together and then the black one together. I do serge all the edges and I fold them right side out. To attach them to the cowl, I go ahead and pull the front part of the cowl and I sew them in that middle seam. And I'm basically sandwiching those triangles in between the middle of the cowl on each side. And once each side is done, I go ahead and attach them right sides to the right sides and sew down the center seam. And for the front of the cowl, I do go ahead and fold it in on itself and sew it down for him. And with the cowl done, I go ahead and sew it to the neckline of the shirt. For the ruffles on her sleeves, I took some more of that old t-shirt and I just gathered around the wrist and sewed it on. I did serge the edges of this shirt just so that way I did not really have to finish the hemming of it. For the pants, I just made a simple stretch pants and I used a pair of her pants to create a pattern with. However, I made one side black and one side red, and I added a waistband with one side red and one side black. For the waistband, I took one of the red side and the black side and I sewed it down the middle on each side so it created a loop. And for the black side and the red side, I just go ahead and attach the side seams and the inside seams, and then I go ahead and sew those down together, and then to attach the red and the black together, I go ahead and sew it down the crotch. And with the legs put together, all I have to do is attach the waistband. With the one seam done, I go ahead and fold over the waistband in half and attach it so it creates a casing for the elastic. And then with 2 safety pins, I go ahead and weave my elastic inside that casing, and then I sew it together and then close up the opening. To finish off the bottom of the pants, I go ahead and roll up the bottom of them and hem it with just a rolled hem. And with that, and adding a few pom-poms, the outfit is done. I did pair it with 2 pairs of shoes. I bought a pair of red shoes and a pair of black Converse shoes, and I think the entire ensemble came out really cute. And since it's made of a stretch, soft sportswear material, it's fairly comfortable to wear. And of course, we had to get a picture of her and Harley Quinn together. If you like this video, please like, subscribe, and share, and I'll see you next week. Bye.